everybody. Today I'm going to be making some extremely delicious waffles today for all of your families or your friends if you have any. But if you're probably watching it, probably not. Yeah, I was been needing to make these for a long time, but it's just so hard to find a quiet moment nowadays. I'm having a birthday party. My birthday's this Thursday, so I've been having to call like 12, 13 friends, go into their houses, delivering invitations to my birthday party this weekend. It was really hard just to find a quiet time to make some waffles and solitary waffles for all of you today. Just at the birthday party. It's gonna be like a pirate murder mystery. It's gonna be really exciting. We're gonna have to dress up and put their best swashbuckler on. So yeah, I just had to find some time in my busy social life just to make some solitary waffles. I guess everyone needs some solitary waffles every now and then. It gives you time just to chill, appreciate the good things in life. You can appreciate the good things in life when you get the solitary waffles, which usually are just the solitary waffles. Those are usually the best things about life. Oh, the solitary. Oh, hold on. Let me take this off. This is really serving no purpose. Yeah, they're the best solitary waffles. Just best tasting, best just all around. Better than salads or milkshakes or any of those other useless foods. Solitary waffles will definitely make your day a dollar better. If that's your betterment, I guess. All right, let's get cooking. So some might think that the first ingredient to making anything, any dish or really anything in life is to have a clean environment, but really that's not the case. I was watching this documentary the other day where they pretty much just cut cows' entrails out and just left them on the ground, and people just kind of much just stepped over them and made them into beef patties and hot dogs and other meats. So no, a clean environment is not the key ingredient to a meal. It's not really an ingredient. I've never read a cookbook where it says to have a clean environment before you cook. I have read cookbooks though where it tells you to be prepared beforehand. It's in all of them. Martha Stewart and Sarah Lee. They all tell you to be prepared beforehand. Being prepared gives you the foresight to realize that your environment might be dirty, which having a clean environment is actually the second main ingredient to cooking, not the first, as it's commonly thought. So that's why I always happen to have my Mr. Clean multi-surface cleaner. It's heavy duty. I've actually had to water it down a couple of times because I use it on pretty much everything. And multi-surface is pretty inclusive about everything. But as long as there's like just a single drop of Mr. Clean multi-surface, the magic continues to endure. So, yeah, some people suggest using generic brand antibacterial soap, but that's been proven to not really do anything to your environment, and actually it just expresses their intense fear of pathogens. It's like a pathogen phobia that they have if they just carry around generic brand hand sanitizer. This is the real deal right here. This gets the job done. Actually, the first and second ingredients to cooking go closely together because I was prepared to realize that my sister might have been cooking earlier today and she may have not cleaned up her mess entirely. So you just put your Mr. Clean multi-surface cleaner on, just pour it all over there, and it should just clean the job right up. You might need to have a towel, which I have laid out over here. To clean up the residue. You may also have to cleanse your hands and other limbs of germs, especially if you've been handling other people's belongings all day. Like today, I was paid $63. So who knows who have touched those $20 bills and those 3 ones. I mean, anyone, you could be like a web designer or a terrorist or anything like that. So make sure you use the multi-surface hand cleaner on your any part that might be touching the waffles. It's a long process to start the waffles, but once the waffles are done, you'll realize why the process had to be so long. It's like a journey to not the center of the earth, because Brendan Fraser would be involved, but a journey to the center of just something else that's not the earth, that doesn't have Brendan Fraser in it. The next step is to have a suitable mixing vat for your waffle mix, which I happen to have here because I was following the first ingredient, which is, as I said, to be prepared. Because if I wasn't prepared, that would just take more time that I desperately need to speak really slowly and think of what I'm going to say next in this. And I guess I could script this out, but I guess it would lose the real feeling you're supposed to have. I'm not sure why I don't script this out, but there's a thing of being too prepared. I think some people can be too prepared, but while others are not prepared at all and make things on the spur of the moment, they just make a mess. I don't make messes. I make waffles. If you look at this waffle box, it has some instructions on the back, but those are for the people who are willing to conform to set standards and wish to make cookie cutter waffles. I like to follow the front instructions. It reads, just add water. That's the auteur choice for a waffle. Just add water, however you feel, however much water you feel like you want to add. If you're feeling like you just want to just put a river in there, put a river in your waffles. This is like the American choice. The just add water. First you gotta pour it in though before you add water. Otherwise you'll just end up with a horrible mistake. You'll get like just slime or something like that. No one really wants slime. There's been a lot of news lately about pink slime, and that's just because they added too much water before adding their mix. According to the box, now once you've filled the vat with the appropriate waffle mix, it's now time for the next stage, which is, as I mentioned before, just add water stage. Take your water hose that's on many sinks in the United States. You probably wouldn't have one of these really useful water hoses on your sink if you're, I don't know, you have no sink, or it's broken, or you're just too poor to have one. Poor people usually don't have water hoses. That's what I've noticed. They have to just do it the old-fashioned way, which that doesn't work. Honestly, the new-fashioned way for waffles is always the old-fashioned way for making waffles. See, these are immensely helpful in filling up your waffle mix with the appropriate amount of water that you seem fit. And this time I'm feeling more like freeform waffles. Actually, I put a little bit too much in there. Always be willing just to make artistic corrections to your waffles. It's like cutting and weeding them away to perfection. Because don't sell your waffle art just so you think people will like it more. Never do that, because it ruins, just the waffle will be ruined before it's even begun. Yeah, I overdone it this time. It's a little bit too freeform. It's not going to. It's more waffle soup right now, which isn't the best thing in the world. But with waffles, it's a journey that you never give up on. So you just edit a little bit. Take those editing scissors. So you get the viscosity that you want. Viscosity is really important in your waffles. These are looking pretty good. Probably the best waffles I've ever made. I make a lot of good things in my life. Quesadillas, and I'm also the creator of a webcomic called Spider-Man. It's about just a group of famous people in different stages of fame. It's a pretty interesting concept. It's solely created by me. I do all the brainstorming and the drawing and the inking and the graphics. It's like a work of myself. So it's really, really nice just to have something for yourself, like waffles. Offer yourself. You can make a giant waffle, I guess, for everyone. But then if everyone has a waffle, no one really has a waffle. The next step is to firmly place your waffle mix on the counter, making sure it has a loud, resounding noise. The echo is actually a key part in making waffles. I think you're supposed to let this sit and harden. Maybe add some more mix if you feel like it. I just felt like adding more mix. It needs to be done so people would understand what's happening. Not everyone needs to add mix, so more mix. Sometimes people just need to accept the waffles the way they are, and not go for any more. I strongly suggest using a giant fork for your waffles, otherwise it'll just spill all over the place and you might become really pathetic and depressed and just lay in your bed for what seems like an hour, unable to move because your delicious waffles spilled everywhere. Don't let that happen. Use the giant fork, probably the best tool to prevent spills, because I mean, if something spills on the counter and it just happens, it's really more your fault than anyone else's. It's more of like a insolence thing, you know. So you use the giant fork. It's no other fork size will do. You have to use a waffle griddle, ouch, to cook a waffle. Otherwise, it'll just end up looking like a jerk. You know, it's like using a ranch instead of blue cheese or something like that. It's just not supposed to be done. You're supposed to do it right. Only a waffle iron can cook a waffle. You know. Otherwise, yeah, it just ends horribly. Now you have to figure out how to open a waffle iron, which is be another video in that. Oh, you simply lift the lid above. Now's the time for greasing it up, because if you don't grease it up, it will be all sticky. Stick to the waffle iron and it will just defame your cooking instrument. So you don't want that to happen, so make sure it's greased pretty well. There's no grease left in this. If you run out of grease, you must be prepared to improvise the grease. I found something to replace the grease, like I knew I would, so I was prepared. I found some hickory seasoning liquid smoke. It seems to have the same chemical properties as grease. I think I learned that in science class, like they're both chemical elements. That's why one always has to pay attention in science class. It is supposed to do that. That's really all the grease you need. That actually smells really delicious. Makes me want to make some hamburgers, which might be next. But you can't have waffles and hamburgers together. Otherwise it just ends up being gross. So now you pour the waffles onto the waffle maker. Just don't waste any of your waffles. Otherwise you're a jerk and people in Africa will be mad at you because they love waffles and they hate people who waste waffles. And look what silence has paid off. A delicious looking waffle. Grab your waffle eating fork, which is entirely different than your waffle stirring fork. Just grab the delicious bits of your waffle and put them on your plate. This looks quite it's indescribable. You might need 2 forks for this. This might be a 2-fork job. but you gotta stay strong. That's pretty much a waffle challenge, is to stay strong. Otherwise, you'll just end up being like a loser and just make simple, ordinary people food. Like salads and just salads, yeah. Try to imitate other famous restaurants, and they just really end up being horrible. Makes you want to cry almost from its sheer blandness. This is certainly not bland. This is like a river of excitement that I'm about to dive headfirst into. Now that your waffles are complete, you may need some extra syrup or other flavoring devices for your waffle meal. I happen to have some caramel syrup out right now, which will replace maple syrup. They're both syrups, and all syrups are equals. It's like after like the 1965 Equal Rights Act by Lyndon Baines Johnson, all syrups are pretty much the same now, just as blacks are. So it was a good year. I've been finished. You may dig into your waffles. So got you pretty good. These are amazing. That's why waffles are here. To make your life better. Just, I suppose you could whine about your food if you're horrible making food. But sometimes in life, waffles, well, the waffle mentality exists, where things are amazing